cooking oil. Stearin is further processed to become oleochemical products. Oleochemical industries are sophisticated factories that mainly produce methyl esters, glycerin, and fatty acids, and a lot of derivatives. These in turn are used in the production of various products. Looking at the long supply chain of palm oil, it is safe to say that the palm oil industry generates a vast range of benefits for many people. The palm oil industry follows international standards.
Oil from conflict, how we can dissociate palm oil from forest fires. I think we will hear from our esteemed panelists today. And I think what I'd like to do is to invite my good friend, the Managing Director of Asian Agri Group, Kelvin Teo.
Good morning. Nations and also the largest economy in Southeast Asia with a GDP close to 900 billion US dollars. National export has made an impressive progress from only 60 billion in 2000 to 180 billion in 2014. From the total export values, palm oil contributes around 11% and is the third largest export sectors in the country, with a total production volume of 31 million metric tons. Smallholders are vital to the Indonesian palm oil industry. Based on the latest statistics, total planted area is slightly above 11 million hectares. Approximately 4.5 million smallholders, plasma and independent farmers cultivate 42% of the total planted area, representing 37% of the total Indonesian CPO productions. Smallholder plantation grows at 10% annually for the last 15 years, while state and private sectors grow at 1.7% and 6.3% respectively. Inclusion of smallholders and integrating smallholders' productions into sustainable and highly productive supply chains is extremely important to the industry as a whole. And this is also to address the issues of climate change. The current Indonesian administration has detailed out national development strategies in achieving food security, energy sufficiencies, and productions of export-oriented products or commodities, going into further value-added downstream activities and improving the livelihood of farmers through partnerships. Palm oil industry has a lot to offer and to work with governments of Indonesia to achieve such strategies, particularly in the partnership with smallholders. In Indonesia context, palm oil has a robust strategic value in supporting national development. Palm oil plantations are the prime movers of agribusiness development, creating millions of jobs and generates critical national revenues. Due to the lack of knowledge in the best practices of palm oil cultivations, smallholders' yield is much below private plantation in terms of productivities. In 2014, the national, specifically for independent smallholders, oil yield per hectare is estimated only at 1.8 to 2 tons per hectare. Most of the independent smallholders have limited or no access at all to the best practice and estate management. Hence, their productivities and qualities are poor. In addition to that, smallholders usually do not have enough funds to replant, thus yield will keep declining. increasing the productivities of the smallholders by just 1 ton per hectare will add into Indonesia's production's additional 5 million metric tons of CPO. To achieve such improvement will definitely take away some of the pressure to open up lands for more cultivations. Questions remain. How the world meets the oil requirement while palm oil industry continues to grow toward more responsible and sustainable productions, and at the same time provides real improvements to the smallholder yields. Asian Agri is working in partnership with 60 the productivities, the income improvements. Then we will start educating our smallholders with sustainability principles. Next. Ladies and gentlemen, sustainable development is a shared responsibility. We need every stakeholder's participation to make palm oil industry sustainable. Every stakeholder should take part in this journey. Producers need to empower smallholders by providing agricultural knowledge and access to agricultural means. At the same time, to educate and encourage the smallholders to better understand our sustainability practices. Buyers must drive and support the sustainability practices by off-taking sustainable productions. And consumers must positively influence supply chains through demands for sustainable products. Governments need to take leadership role in the pushing for sustainable palm oil productions through up-to-date policies and regulations. NGOs need to work hand in hand with the producers and buyers through partnership toward positive change. It is based on mutual relationships. The competitiveness of palm oil implies it will remain as a source for sustainable and renewable raw material. Due to the economic growth, growing populations and demand for palm oil-based applications such as biofuel, palm oil demand will continue to increase. Indonesia's government needs to leverage this for national diplomacies in advancing the industry and gaining market penetrations globally. Role of government in enforcing, supporting, and expediting the productions of sustainable palm oil in the country to ensure sufficient sustainable palm oil.
We try to be solved or to be approached by food security and then food policy, then of course the protection to farmers. I don't have to mention about the maritime economy. What the things, maybe I skip a little bit further, I just want to share with you. Now is there's a tendency of a growing disparities between smallholders and large-scale farmers, large-scale plantation, especially on palm oil. Then I'm trying to share with you what is the food security issues on that thing. I will skip this. Ladies and gentlemen, food security actually have 3 or 4 dimensions: availability, accessibility, then stability, then utilization, of course. Okay. Probably I'm not going to share with you all, but look at the trend, the recent trend of food choices and food perception. Here, and you could see the food choices around here. Then, if you could see, here is the food perception. Indonesia is somewhere around here. We're focusing on carbohydrate, meat, and so on. But we'll try to go all the way to go to functional food. Okay, functional food is the future. And one of contribution of palm oil is to functional foods that will be, especially for food industries, they will play important roles in the future. I don't have to repeat about the essential and so on. Okay. Now, where are we going? Where do we have this kind of production centers in Indonesia? Almost everywhere in the whole country. Okay. from rice, corn, soybean, sugarcane, oil, groundnut, vegetable, fruits, and so on. But let's take some attention to these important tables. Okay, we researchers are actually now trying to figure out how to establish new research interest on palm oil and food security. Okay, look at that, all 5 different provinces. All provinces here at home, Riau, North Sumatra, Kalimantan, South Sumatra, and West Kalimantan are the centers of palm oil. The provinces here are the centers of rice production. Only North Sumatra that have both palm oil and 5 bigger of rice producers. If you want to pay attention on the detail, I think you can have that. Look, you can oil. This is crude oil from maize, rice, wheat, everything. Sugar is declining. So what happened at home? At home, the average rice is higher than the rice in our neighborhood, especially in Vietnam and Thailand. When we have this month in November, when the first time we importing rice, it become a political issue. Okay, and look at that. There's something in our food market, especially in terms of market structure. When you see the price of rice in Vietnam, in Thailand is only equivalent to 6,000 rupiah, which is around $400 per ton. At home, it's over 12,000, which is very expensive. Then we have a lot of issues, including smuggling and the roles of bullock and so on. My point, how to achieve both palm oil development and food security. Okay. At home, we have PISADO. Is ASEAN actually involved in PISADO as well? No. The PISADO is Partnership for Indonesia Sustainable Agriculture, consisting of private sector, government, and of course some help of civil society in Kadin to implement what I mentioned earlier, NVA, New Vision of Agriculture. The idea is how to develop both that could fulfill the inclusiveness, sustainability, and at the same time to achieve food security. This is the challenge for us as academics, but we should not encourage more vertical and horizontal integration because
this is the most. It has almost 56% among the total of the world output, and then the consumption is about 52.1 thousand million among the others, and this is the highest consumption. And the price is, if we look at this is very low if compared to the other palm oil, to the other oils. And Indonesia is the world's largest producers and exporters of CPO, and we can look at this picture. This is the green one is Indonesia, and the red one is Malaysia. And we have we can more produce more CPO bigger than Malaysia from 2006. And we look at the share of the production. Indonesia is in the first place. We see here that Indonesia is 53.6%, and in share of export is about 51.1%. Okay, next. What about the overview? What about the oil palm plantation in Indonesia? Next. Here, we call it in the center of the distribution and center of production of palm oil plantation in Indonesia, and mostly it is in the Kalimantan, Sumatra, and then in Kalimantan it's about 24%, and in Sumatra it's about 65%. And next, and if you look at this, even though we have next, okay, we have a lot of oil palm plantation, but we still have a lot of forest here. Next, and we look at this, the oil palm is only about 6.08 compared to the others, forest and oil palm and total the others in the total land in Indonesia. Next. And if you look at during the period of 2009 to 2014, the total area is increased significantly here, and also the production is increased. It's significantly
Saya sebagai buruh harian lepas.
In '92, before I started farming, I was an independent worker in the region.
Dengan gaji waktu itu per hari Rp1.500.
With an income, a daily income of 10 cents in US dollars, I think, in 10 cents euro.
Foto yang atas itu adalah tahun 1999.
The picture above is taken in 1999.
Yang bawah tahun 2001.
The one below is in 2001.
Yang ada gambar anak yang pakai pakaian seragam itu tahun 2006.
And the picture with someone wearing uniform is 1996.
Yang ada gambar wisuda, foto wisuda itu tahun 2014.
And the one with graduation robe is 2009.
Pada dasarnya dari tahun ke tahun,
year after year, basically,
kehidupan saya sebagai petani sawit mulai ada peningkatan, yaitu mulai tahun 2007.
My life has been improving, especially since 2007.
Saya punya 2 anak.
I have 2 kids.
Yang satu sudah lulus kuliah.
One has graduated from college.
Yang adiknya itu tak lahiran tahun 95, sekarang masih kuliah di Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta semester 5.
The younger sibling is currently still in college in University of Muhammadiyah in Yogyakarta.
Kalaupun seandainya saya tidak mengikuti program pemerintah lewat transmigrasi,
if I didn't participate in the government's program of transmigration,
dan kebetulan saya sangat berbangga kepada Asian Agri,
I'm very proud of Asian Agri.
Karena kehidupan saya sekarang sudah mulai bisa dibilang sangat baik.
My life now is can be said to be quite prosperous.
Lanjut, Pak. Dan inilah keseharian saya sebagai pengurus koperasi di desa.
This is my daily life as a cooperative officer in my village.
Dan kami sebagai petani plasma,
and me as a plasma farmer,
Mitra Binaan Asian Agri sudah bersertifikasi RSPO.
under Asian Agri has been certified through our SPO, the Roundtable for Sustainable Palm Oil.
RSPO pertama tahun 2012 sampai dengan 2017.
The first RSPO was in 2012 to 2017. 2017.
Belum selesai menginjak tahun kedua 2015 sampai 2020.
The second would be from 2015 to 2020.
Dan bukan hanya itu saja, sertifikasi kami adalah ada ICC.
Indonesia, I think, is in the best position to fulfill that growing demand for palm oil for at least 3 reasons. First, that there are room for improving productivities of palm oil, especially from smallholders, especially for the independent smallholders. The project developed by ASEAN Agri and by other Indonesian companies to work hand in hand with the smallholders, independent smallholders, is, I think, very excellent initiative so that the smallholders' productivity can be improved. And then we can see here that in average, for example, that smallholders' productivity is around 2.8 tons per hectare, while the large plantation is around 4.2 tons per hectare. So if we can increase the productivity of smallholders by at least 1 ton, for example, that's already can increase the production of the Indonesian palm oil by almost 5 million ton. So without having new land to develop, we can already achieve or increase production of palm oil significantly. The second reason is that land is still available in Indonesia compared to other countries. As you can see here, for example, land use in Indonesia, only 5% of the land in Indonesia planted by or cultivated by palm oil, by oil palm plantation. The total plantation is around 20 million hectares, and the overall forest area is around 130 million hectares. And then also, if you look at this very important figure, I should say that the ratio of agricultural land in Indonesia is lower than the average the world. If you look at this figure, you can see here that, for example, Indonesia ratio of agricultural land in Indonesia is around 27%, while other developed countries such as German, US, or in that regard also, I think
ensuring that the price is being done to the best transparencies available, and all informations are being gathered and controlled and compared. That I would like to add into the questions from this gentleman. The other ones, I guess, on indigenous peoples, my colleague has also explained. The two types of partnerships, it is really, if we look at, based on my presentations, 42% of 11 million hectares actually controlled under smallholders. But if you further break it down into two types of smallholders, plasma,
green
the
financing,
partnership smallholders, normally those are the smallholders working with corporations like Asian Agri. That only represents 15% of the total smallholders area. The remaining 85% are the independents. In terms of productivities, we have seen a stark difference. Take for example, our Asian Agri smallholders productivities averaging around 5 tons of CPO per hectare. If you look at the independents on the national average, they are averaging at around 1.5, at most 2 tons of oil per hectare. You can see that we can make a leap in terms of increasing their productivities, and this is the growth that exactly require most of our systems. There are 2 types, as I have explained. One is genetics, another one is plantations management, access to knowledge of how to manage plantations. And these are the things exactly we are doing in terms of engaging, in terms of inclusions of these smallholders, and make them a better smallholders, somewhere comparable to our classmates. Thanks.
Okay, 2 more questions, please. One, and then second. Probably in addition to what has been mentioned about the indigenous community, I think the indigenous community in Indonesia has gained momentum by winning the constitutional court's appeal to get their land being recognized by the state, and they've won it. So now they are basically busy putting together the map of the indigenous rights. So while it is still in the making, I think the progress is going on. So thank you for raising that issue. We appreciate it very much. Please.
Yeah, my name is Chebet, my good from Uganda, and I want to thank the distinguished panelists from Thailand, and particularly for including my fellow farmer. Indonesia, apologies. For including the farmer, Perumari, right? Rostamari. Yeah, part of my question has been addressed by a colleague from the IF, but I just want to find out the perspectives of your government, how you deal with any impacts, if at all they come, associated with climate change. Of course, you recall what happened last year in the Philippines, the typhoon. So, does the government of Indonesia have in place any framework that can support farmers like Rostamari and others involved in palm oil production? I think that's a point I'd like to learn from your experience. But otherwise, for palm oil production, my country, when it initiated growing of palm, there was some bit of resistance. And up to this point, I'm sure you heard about Uganda, which has taken up the initiative of learning from Indonesia again on palm growing. But of course, the argument that time was you cannot use palm oil to replace the natural forest. Well, that was the argument there. So in terms of whether carbon sequestration, and of course other co-benefits, it's a question of cost-benefit analysis. And otherwise, I want to thank once again all of you for your distinguished comments.
Well, thank you very much for being here, sir. I think it's very, very profound question. Please, ma'am.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I should like to congratulate you this wonderful project. I think it's a fantastic progress for Indonesia on one hand. On the other hand, my question is somehow relates to the question of the previous gentleman.
So the government, the state-owned insurance company take care of that. So if you fail, including not only about typhoon, flood, even today, this one is about El Nino effect. Yes, they were insured for that. But of course, we have a lot of homework about the assessors and people how to contribute, and the understanding of farmers how to join the insurance program, which is for us for the future. That is one example to at least to mitigate this sudden impact of climate change.
Let me answer the second question about the concern of the biodiversity. By quoting some of the studies, I think also the gentleman who did the study also here, Pak Petrus Gunarso. So here I just would like to quote the evidence. You know, the oil palm planted at the majority of the oil palm planted in the areas outside the virgin or undisturbed forest. Come from the degraded land, it come from the agriculture or from the secondary or disturbed forest. So now if you would like to see the oil palm plantation expanding without harming or destroy the biodiversity, you could choose what kind of land that the oil palm plant oil. I think the environment will be in a more dangerous situation or condition compared if you plant the oil palm. Why? Because we are the oil palm less land needed, yeah, to expand compared to other oils. So I think it is clear the choice, you know, for those who are concerned with the environment, you have to support, you know, the expansion of oil palm plantation and also improvement in the productivity of the oil palm.
Thank you very much, Pak Fadil, for adding on to the answer. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I think it is really clear that, you know, of course, this is a work in progress, but I think the progress has already been seen and has already been shown, and we really do hope that the progress keeps continue to progress and to reach the three targets of sustainability, that we at the same time increase the production, protect the environment, and at the same time increase the prosperity of the people involved. Before I close this session, this session is sponsored by the Indonesian Estate Crop Fund, which is an innovative initiative by the Indonesian government to put together fund from the palm oil industry to the palm oil industry and beyond, to ensure that sustainability in the industry is maintained and achieved. So what I would like to do is to invite the CEO, the President Director of the fund, Pak Bayu, Dr. Bayu Krishnamurti, to come to the podium to give a closing remark. Pak Bayu, please.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, sustainability has two meanings. First, sustainability means people, planet, and profit. And I think with these definitions, palm oil is the most promising, as well the most proven activities in Indonesia, one of the most proven activities in Indonesia, who could provide us with these three components. It's good for the planet, it's good for the people, as well as good for the economy. The second, sustainability means an effort, a struggle, a destination to reach. And palm oil could provide an energy, could provide resources to do that effort. We cannot do and try to change things without resources, without funding, without people who would like to do that. Palm oil provide us, at least for Indonesia experience, provide us in such. Is it a perfect situation? No, it's far from perfect. There's many problem, abundance, huge problem. But as my dear friend Pak Agusari, the chairman of this session, said, the progress has been made, and we need to move on that track. So from time to time, we could make it even better. The Indonesian palm oil now, today, is more sustainable than ever, and we are very proud of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pak Bayu, Dr. Bayu Krishnamurti, the CEO of the Indonesian Estate Crop Fund. So that concludes our session this morning, and I believe that you agree with me that the great panelists here deserve our applause. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bapak-bapak. Thank you. Thank you.